Welcome. This module will introduce you to the hierarchy of controls.
Basically, the hierarchy of controls is a simple tool to systematically assess the effectiveness of controls that can be applied in response to a hazard or risk. In order of most effective to least effective control measures, the hierarchy of controls are elimination, substitution, isolation, engineering, administrative controls, and personal protective equipment. As the name implies, elimination removes the hazard or risk so it can no longer harm you. This outcome can also be achieved if you do not have to do the task at all. An example of this would be use of an automatic baiting machine to eliminate the risk of hand injuries while baiting hooks. If a hazard or risk cannot be eliminated, then substitution, for something less hazardous, is the next best option. Examples include replacing a hazardous chemical with one less hazardous, or replacing an old frayed rope with a new rope to lift a load. The next best option is to be isolated or separated from the hazard or risk. Examples include the use of a steel barrier to protect you and others from a winch in operation, or by standing in a designated location clear of the cod end when lifting a catch. Engineering is the next best option and includes the use of holding pens and pound boards to prevent the catch from moving in the hold and affecting boat stability. It also includes the use of hauling equipment to eliminate manual lifting tasks. If other controls cannot be implemented, then administrative measures may need to be used. This may include providing crew training on how to safely perform a hazardous task, and the introduction of policies and standardized procedures such as the required use of hearing protection when entering the engine room. Finally, if nothing more can be done to reduce a hazard or risk, appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE may need to be used. Although personal protective equipment is the last line of defense, it can be very effective nonetheless. Examples include the wearing of a personal flotation device or PFD when working in heavy seas, wearing gloves when handling the catch, and wearing enclosed footwear when on the deck. While elimination of the hazard or risk is the best possible outcome, this is not often a feasible option when working at sea. In this case, a combination of controls might be a better option. For example, an administrative requirement for crew to wear personal protective equipment, or to stand in a particular location when a hazardous task is being performed on deck. Finally, you should note that it is the boat owner, or skipper's, responsibility to provide you PPE and associated training, but it is also your responsibility to use it. Let's recap. The hierarchy of controls, from most effective to least effective, is elimination, substitution, for example substitution of tools, equipment, substances, or tasks for less hazardous ones, isolation, such as physical barriers or exclusion zones, engineering, including guarding around moving parts or use of winches to lift heavy items, administration, such as training in safe practices and the implementation of safety policies, including safe working procedures. Finally, personal protective equipment.
Great. Now let's review the information that was covered.